hour before the set, left the sticks across the snare drum and his room key by the desk. He said the bus had lost its brakes. The promoter owed him 2 weeks' pay. Then pointed once in our direction and said, "You two can count your own damn way."
You said he always was dramatic. I said he carried us for miles. You said a drummer should keep tempo. I said a band should notice why. He slept behind the luggage cases while we took every motel bed. You call that part of paying dues? He called it being used instead.
He missed the cue in Wichita.
You changed the phone without a word.
He dragged the bridge in Little Rock.
You rushed the verse and blamed the drums.
The empty stool behind us knew which story sounded worse. The drummer quit in Tulsa, and the whole road lost its feet.
You blame the man who walked away. I blame the ones who missed the beat.
Oh, the drummer quit in Tulsa, left no rhythm to accuse.
We had spent 3 towns correcting him and never asked what he could lose.
The owner said the doors were opening and the crowd had paid to hear. I asked the bass man if he knew the set without the counting near. He tapped his foot against the floorboard, said, "I can hold the first 3 songs." You grabbed a tambourine and answered. Then we find out who was leaning all along.
We opened with no drama, just the piano, bass, and hands. The first song shook around the edges like a table missing one good leg.
You tried to push the tempo forward. I pulled it back before the turn.
The crowd began to clap uneven, and every mistake became something earned.
You thought the groove belonged to you.
You thought force could make it
We
stay.
both had used a steady hand.
Then caught his timing in the way.
Without him, every bar revealed how much he carried night by night. The drummer quit in Tulsa,
And the whole road lost its feet.
you blame the man who walked away.
I blame the ones who missed the beat.
Ah, the drummer quit in Tulsa,
Left no rhythm to accuse. We had spent 3 towns correcting him and never asked what he could lose.
Did you see him pack?
I saw the suitcase.
Did he say goodbye?
To the bass man.
Why not to us?
Because we only heard him when something went wrong.
Was he right?
More than we wanted.
A person can keep perfect time and still be late to leave.
Count it.
1,
Again.
1.
There is no 2 without somebody willing to stay.
The room fell quiet
Before the bass began. And found the right ones.
The bass man took the turnaround.
The cook played spoons
Did the set fall apart?
twice,
Did we finish?
barely.
But every song after midnight had his absence inside it.
The drummer quit in Tulsa,
And we finally heard the space.
yeah, not just where the snare should answer,
But the man behind the play note?
One line, what did it say?
Learn to count people too.
The bus left Tulsa with one empty bunk and better time.
The guitarist's chair was empty when the doors opened at 8. His red case leaned against the piano, but nobody knew why he was late. The stagehand checked the alley twice. The drummer called the boarding house. We left one lamp beside his amplifier and played the opening without him. He had played behind our voices since the first room on the coast. Knew which lines required an answer and which ones needed almost none. He never stood beneath the spotlight, never asked to share the name, but every chorus leaned toward him before it found its proper shape. We thought a song belonged to singers because the poster said it did. But one empty chair behind us showed us everything he carried. The guitarist's empty chair held more music than we knew. Every space where he should answer made the whole room sound untrue. Empty chair stood beneath a single lamp. We kept reaching for the phrases only his hands understood. The bass man took the first small solo. The piano filled the second break. I tried to hold the bridge together, but the rhythm changed its weight. He sang the line he always doubled, then stopped before the final word. The audience heard the missing note more clearly than the one we gave him. He had tuned my guitar backstage when my hands shook before the show. Kept a thermos near the monitor and always knew when I should slow. You once called him just a sideman. He smiled and tightened one loose string. Now the whole band played around the space where his smallest choices had been. No one noticed quiet labor while the evening still went right. Absence makes invisible people suddenly feel the night. The guitarist's empty chair held more music than we knew.
his face where he should answer. Made the whole room sound untrue. The guitarist's empty chair stood beneath the single lamp. We kept reaching for the phrases only his hands understood.
We remembered every town
where he carried both our cases,
every sound check he repaired,
while we argued over places.
We remembered how we waited
when the promoter paid us first,
and how often being dependable
made people notice him the least. Near midnight, the club owner entered
with a folded hospital form.
Said the guitarist had collapsed
while crossing Union Avenue.
He was stable, still unconscious, would not play for several weeks. The drummer turned the lamp toward his chair and counted softly into 3. We did not dedicate the next song,
did not turn his pain into display.
We played the part he had arranged
and left his final chord
unchanged. The guitarist's empty chair
was not empty anymore.
Every note he taught the band
came walking through the floor.
The guitarist's empty chair
held his patience and his turn.
We sang above the work he gave us and finally called it by his name. The guitarist's empty chair
stayed beside us through the tour.
Not his grief and not his theater,
but his credit overdue.
He returned in early winter, leaner, slower, carrying no case. We stood when he entered rehearsal and let him choose his own chair.
Monday morning, outside the hall on Market Street. Your photograph was twice the size and your name stood over me. I told the promoter it was careless. He said that's how the printer ran. You walked in carrying your garment bag and read it before shaking my hand. You stared at that poster too long, then smiled like nothing had been done. Said maybe they remember who still finishes the song. I said they remember what they're shown. You said then give them something more. The brass man stopped unpacking and the drummer closed the dressing room door. You think the order does not matter?
You think it matters more than sound?
They put your name above mine.
You put yourself above the band.
The poster stayed outside while the argument came in. Your name above mine in letters 6 feet high. You called it simple advertising, I called it one more quiet lie. Your name above mine with both our faces in the frame. The crowd had not heard one note yet and already knew who got the blame. I spent 10 years beneath small print, beneath special guest, and also featuring. Sang the hardest line each evening and watched another name get billing. So when I saw my name above yours, I did not ask them to correct. Not because I needed victory, but because I knew what came next. I spent 20 years on posters where the top was all I had. Some nights the room was half empty, but the name still brought the band. I thought position and survival, thought the top line paid the cost.
You said that is how men keep a ladder, then complain when women climb across.
You call tradition practical.
You call every custom theft.
Some customs keep one person visible.
Some names keep the doors from closing.
The promoter knocked and told us there were 12 minutes left.
Your name above mine in letters 6 feet high.
You called it simple advertising, I called it one more quiet line.
Your name above mine with both our faces in the frame. The crowd had not heard one note yet and already knew who got the blame.
Would you have changed it if my name were first?
No.
Then why should I?
Because you said the order meant nothing until it stopped favoring you.
That is not fair.
It is exactly fair.
The truth looked larger
when printed where the public could see.
What do you want?
Same size,
same line,
same height.
Who goes first?
The soul.
The drummer opened the door and said, then quit reading the wall. With black tape,
wrote the band's name in white.
The promoter nearly fainted.
The audience thought it looked right.
Did it settle who was leading?
Not until the second song,
when one voice missed the entrance
and the other carried it along.
No name above mine,
no name beneath your own.
We walked beneath one line of letters
and learned the order note by note.
Your name above mine, no face enlarged for blame.
The room decided who was listening, not the printer, not the frame.
Your name above mine. When the final chord arrived,
the crowd shouted both together because both voices kept it alive.
Who took the first bow?
The drummer.
Who took the second?
The band.
The poster stayed outside, covered in tape,
and finally told the truth. The club at 7:30 with 20 chairs beneath the lights. The owner said the town was sleeping and Friday had gone somewhere else.
The bartender counted 16 glasses. The drummer counted 12 in front. We asked if anyone was coming. He said, play loud enough and someone might.
At 9 there were exactly 20, 3 near the bar, 2 by the wall. A woman wearing factory overalls, a boy too young to drink it all.
No photographer, no promoter, no one asking for a name. We opened with the oldest number and nobody pretended why they came.
There was no room to hide behind listening faces. Every breath crossed 20 feet and landed in a different place. We sang for 20 people, and everyone could hear the crack inside the upper line, the gravel underneath. We sang for 20 people with no applause prepared. The smallest room became the place where nobody disappeared.
The second song lost half a chorus. The bass came early on the turn. I nearly stopped and started over.
You pushed the melody beyond. The woman by the wall began moving, one hand tapping on her knee. The boy beside the kitchen doorway knew every word before the third repeat.
I sang the verse
I usually guarded,
the one I shortened in large halls.
here there was nowhere for it to vanish. No balcony, no curtain wall.
The alto sax climbed through the ending,
Then it left one measure open wide
you entered underneath my last note
and carried what I could not hide. 20 faces held the silence,
without making it feel cold.
sometimes fewer people listening
Means every word must stand alone.
we sang for 20 people, and everyone could hear the crack inside the upper line, the gravel underneath. We sang for 20 people with no applause prepared. The smallest room became the place where nobody disappeared.
We had measured nights by numbers,
By the line outside the door,
counted seats before the downbeat,
and counted money after 4. But 20 people stayed till closing,
without leaving through a song.
and for once the room felt larger than the halls where names were drawn.
Oh,
The owner turned the sign to close.
but let the final number run.
The bartender stopped wiping glasses, and the cook came out when we began.
The drummer lowered every accent,
The piano left more air between.
and 20 people sang the last line.
Before we told them what it meant, we sang for 20 people, and every voice came back,
Not loud enough to shake the ceiling,
just strong enough to hold the track. We sang for 20 people, and none of them was small. One room, one bar, one broken speaker, and more attention than a hall. We sang for 20 people,
then the alto took the air.
rose above the final chorus, and left the last note hanging there.
The owner paid us,
From the register,
the boy asked for the written words.
we left before the morning buses, still hearing 20 voices inside the third verse.
The doctor came behind the curtain with a paper folded twice. Said 3 songs, maybe 4 at most, then you stop and rest your voice. You read the page without expression, then placed it underneath your glass. The stagehand called 5 minutes, and you said, "Tell the band we start." I did not drive 600 miles to whisper through the final night. I did not carry every bedroom just to leave beneath white light. You said the throat was already swollen. I said the first note still came through. You said coming through is not the same as knowing what it does to you. You have nothing left to prove. That is easy from your chair. I am trying to protect you. Then stop deciding what I bear. The curtain shook behind us while the room began to fill. 3 songs before the voice gave out. 3 chances left to spend. 1 for every room that doubted. 1 for every borrowed end. 3 songs before the voice gave out. You asked me to come down. Oh, but a voice can know it is in danger and still refuse to leave the sound. The first song scraped along the ceiling. The second broke across 1 word. I felt the high note split between us and watched the front row lean forward. The sound man lowered every channel. You signaled him to raise it back. I caught the chorus with my whole chest and heard the last vowel crack. I stood beside the monitor, counting every breath you missed. The drummer shortened every turnaround. The piano changed the bridge. You thought the band was following fire. I knew they followed fear. Every player watched your shoulders for the moment air disappeared. Do not make me small with pity. I am not calling you weak. Then stop looking at the curtain. Every time I start to sing, concern can sound like judgment when the room is listening. 3 songs before the voice gave out. 3 chances left to spend. 1 for every room that doubted. 1 for every borrowed end. 3 songs before the voice gave out. You asked me to come down, but a voice can know it is in danger and still refuse to leave the sound. What happens if the note does not return? Then I learn another way. What happens if the damage stays? Then it stays because I chose today. Is that courage? No. Then what? The fear that nobody will listen once the broken part is gone. The truth was not the failing voice. It was the life built underneath it. You do not owe them the last song. I know. You do not owe me proof. I know. Then who are you singing for? bird song started softly,
not smoothly,
the first line barely held,
but it held.
the band left space around you.
For once,
Nobody tried to hide the fracture
or pretend it was not there.
3 songs before the voice gave out.
The final one came there.
No polished note, no easy finish.
Only breath and damaged air.
3 songs before the voice gave out. The whole room heard it strain,
Not beauty made from suffering,
but a singer naming pain. 3 songs before the voice gave out.
you stopped before the end.
Place the microphone upon the stand
And let the band complete the phrase.
Did the voice come back?
Not all at once,
Did you sing the next night?
no,
Was that defeat?
no.
The 4th song waited
Until the throat and the woman both agreed. The owner changed the letters slowly on the marquee afternoon. Said the hall would close on Monday, and tonight would be the final room.
The paint had peeled above the doorway. The box office glass was cracked, but every name we used to envy still left shadows on the back. We had played there first as strangers, with borrowed cables, borrowed coats.
The dressing room had one bad mirror and a sink that never closed.
The walls had heard our strongest
Evenings and the nights we missed the mark.
Now the seats stood waiting
Quietly for one last house before the dark.
The room knew every version
Of the people we became, every changed arrangement, every fight behind a name. Last night on the marquee, one final line of light, our names above a closing doorway, for the last time in the night. Last night on the marquee, the letter shook in wind. We had spent years trying to arrive there, just as the room was giving in.
The stage manager found old programs in a cabinet by the stairs.
One from when the band wore matching jackets, one from when we hardly spoke.
There were ticket stubs from winter
and a photograph from spring.
We looked younger under bad lightning
and more certain of everything.
The bartender brought the final bottle
From the shelf behind the bar,
said the club had outlived fashion,
but not taxes, rent, or scars.
He pointed toward
or somebody sold the place. A room is more than timber, more than curtains, locks, and rent. It keeps the parts of every person that the people never met. Last night on the marquee, one final line of light, our names above a closing doorway, for the last time in the night. Last night on the marquee, the letter shook in wind. We had spent years trying to arrive there, just as the room was giving in.
We had blamed the crowd for leaving,
blamed the owner for the sound,
blamed the city when the rooms got smaller
and the new clubs opened downtown.
But the hall had held us anyway.
Through every borrowed song,
and closing it did not erase
the nights when people stayed along.
The final audience came early,
older faces, younger hands.
Some had heard us there in winter,
some had never seen the band.
no speech was made before the first song.
No ribbon crossed the stage. We only counted four together
and let the room
remember us.
The ceiling shook above the chorus, the floorboards answered every beat.
The building sounded almost stronger because it knew it could not keep. Last night on the marquee, the whole room sang the line, not because the night was perfect, but because it was the final time. Last night on the marquee, the owner killed the sign. One letter faded, then another, until both names lost light. Last night on the marquee, we stood beneath the frame. The hall was gone by morning, but it never lost the sound we made.
The workers came on Tuesday,
took the curtains, chairs, and bar.
We kept one metal letter each
and carried home what would not fit inside a car.
Beyond the county, where the wheat fields met the road, steam came rising through the hood,
and every case had to be unloaded.
The driver kicked the front
left tire, the drummer stretched across the grass.
We watched the afternoon grow longer,
with another town still 3 hours past.
A mechanic came from Carter's garage, with black grease beneath his nails.
Said the pump was cracked beyond repair,
and no part would come by mail.
bench
and a radio that barely played.
We carried in the piano keyboard
and built a room from what he gave.
There was no stage, no printed ticket, no curtain waiting to be drawn.
Just a garage door standing open
and enough daylight for a song. The bus would not start,
so we stayed where the
engine died, sang beside the hanging tubes
with the highway open wide.
The bus would not start, but the music found a place
between the oil cans and the tires
in a town that knew no name.
The mechanic called his wife and children.
The grocer brought a wooden crate.
Someone rolled the doors much wider,
and 6 more people crossed the gate.
A farmer came still wearing work clothes.
2 girls arrived on borrowed bikes.
The sheriff leaned against the tow truck
and stayed through every song that night.
We played the songs we knew too well,
then one we had not finished yet.
You found the line above the chorus,
I found the chord beneath your breath.
Nobody asked which voice was
leading, nobody read a poster there.
They only moved a little closer
when the final note broke through the air.
There was no dressing room,
no spotlight,
no promoter
keeping time.
Just 20 people by the highway
and one unfinished song of ours. The bus would not stop,
so we stayed where the engine died,
sang beside the hanging tubes
with the highway open wide.
The bus would not stop, but the music found a place
between the oil cans and the tires
in a town that knew no name.
We had played for louder rooms
where nobody heard a word.
Here a child sat on the concrete
and remembered every verse.
We had chased the bigger stages,
counted seats and counted pay,
but the smallest room we never booked
was the one that made us stay.
At midnight, someone passed a coffee jar,
and folded bills went slowly in.
The mechanic found a second pump
behind a truck that had no wheels.
By morning, he had fixed the engine,
but nobody hurried toward the door.
We played the unfinished song once more,
because they asked to hear it whole. The bus would not start, and the road gave back a night.
No marquee, no velvet curtain,
only faces in the light. The bus would not start,
but the broken part made room
for a garage full of strangers
to become the evening's tune.
The bus would not stop, then the engine caught at dawn.
We left behind a town without a theater,
still singing our last song.
The driver closed the luggage doors,
the mechanic raised one hand.
We carried 20 names inside us
from a place outside the plan. The bus was loaded before sunrise, cases tied beneath the frame. The driver checked the western highway while the crew called every name.
I stood beside the station doorway
with my coat across my arm.
You kept one hand upon the railing
and one hand closed around the fare. We had crossed 12 states together, slept through rain against the glass, learned which towns paid late on Sunday and which rooms forgot us fast.
But every road it started feeling
like the same room moving on. Another stage, another hallway, another place to leave at dawn.
There was no fight behind the decision,
no broken promise left to name.
Only one of us still needed motion,
and one no longer felt the same. Take the highway without me. Let the bus pull from the line. You still hear a road ahead of you. I hear one asking for my time. Take the highway without me. Do not wait beside the door.
some endings do not come from anger.
Some people simply travel no more.
I remember Cleveland in the winter, when your fever reached 103.
You sang the final number seated, then slept with both your boots on.
I remember Tucson in the summer,
when the crowd would not go home. You took the chorus past the ending and made the whole room sing along. I remembered how you carried every cable after shows, how your hands would shake at breakfast but turn steady when music rose. I remembered all the good miles without pretending they were kind. Gratitude can live beside or leave it without asking it to change its mind.
we had spent years calling departure,
Something one of us had done.
now the leaving stood between us,
Without a villain, without blame. Take the highway without me. Let the bus pull from the line. You still hear a road ahead of you. I hear one asking for my time. Take the highway without me.
mistaken staying longer
for the proof that something mattered,
mistaken every extra mile
for a reason not to scatter.
But a song can reach its ending
without becoming a mistake,
and two voices can stop traveling
without losing what they made. The drummer placed my smaller suitcase on the pavement by my feet.
The bass man offered me his number,
though we both already knew it. The driver called the final warning. The engine settled into time. You climbed the first two metal steps, then turned and held my eye.
No speech could carry every season,
no handshake fit the years.
We only nodded once between us
and let the road become the answer. Take the highway without me. Carry every song we made.
Let the new rooms hear your gravel.
Let the old lines change their shape. The highway without me. I will keep the part that stays.
The first note before the curtain.
The last chord after name. The highway without me. When the county signs begin,
do not call this being left behind.
I am choosing where I am.
The bus pulled west at 7.
I stood beneath the station clock.
You watched until the road bent south.
I watched until the taillight stopped.
No promise,
no return date,
no final word to prove.
Only one voice on the highway, and one learning how not to move. Two microphones beneath one spotlight, one silver stand on either side. The floor manager drew a chalk line and told us where each voice should rise.
We had sung together for 3 seasons, but every room still made us choose who would stand closer to the center and who would disappear into the blue. The first verse opened in my register, the second settled under yours. You stepped half a shoe toward the light.
I moved the microphone once more.
The tenor sax answered my last phrase.
The guitar answered yours in turn.
The band kept building little borders
while neither one of us would learn. We could hear the song dividing into corners, names, and claims. Every note became a question about who owned the frame. 2 microphones, 1 spotlight, 2 shadows on the floor. We kept singing past each other and asking for a little more. 2 microphones, 1 spotlight, 2 voices built to stand. The song became much larger when neither tried to lead the band.
The promoter watched beside the curtain
with the running order in his hand.
He had underlined your closing number,
Circled where I joined the band.
I thought the room had come to hear me.
You thought the room had come for truth, but the crowd only leaned closer when one voice made some space for two. I left one line unfinished. You entered under what remained, not to cover, not to rescue, just to carry half the weight. The saxophone rose behind us, then fell away before the chord. And for 8 bars, no one on that stage was keeping score anymore. The light was still above us, the chalk line still below, but the room had stopped deciding which direction sound should go. 2 microphones, 1 spotlight, 2 shadows on the floor. We kept singing past each other and asking for a little more. 2 microphones, 1 spotlight, 2 voices built to stand. The song became much larger when neither tried to lead the band.
We had mistaken being heard
For being louder than the other,
mistaken taking every ending.
for the way a song discovered.
No name appeared above the music.
No single voice could close the night.
We only sounded fully present
When both of us stepped out of
The sax climbed first, the guitar followed,
then both lines crossed above the drums.
You laughed once through a broken vowel.
I missed a word and still it came.
The audience rose before the ending,
Not for one face,
not for
one name, but because 2 damaged voices had finally entered the same frame. 2 microphones, 1 spotlight,
no winner left to name.
you held the upper broken line, I held the weight beneath the phrase. 2 microphones, 1 spotlight, 1 band behind us both. The song became a meeting place instead of territory. 2 microphones, 1 spotlight, and when the last chord fell,
The saxophone took one final breath
and said what neither voice could tell. We left the chalk line on the floor, left both microphones in place. The spotlight stayed above an empty stage and finally lit no face. Wrote the song behind the theater on a table near the loading door. One verse came from an old train schedule, 1 came from a letter on the floor.
We kept the chorus plain and narrow,
left the clever lines outside.
said the room would hear the truth in it
if we did not decorate the night.
The crowd had come for older numbers,
Songs they already knew by name.
they shouted before the first chord landed,
Then settled when the new one came.
no glasses lifted near the bar rail.
No one leaned into the sound,
The last note stayed above the tables,
then disappeared without a hand. We had sung through broken speakers, through rooms that talked above the band. But silence after something honest was the hardest thing to stand. Nobody clapped for the new song, nobody called us back. The room stayed still beneath the ceiling, while the drummer lowered both his hands. Nobody clapped for the new song. We could not tell what silence meant, whether they had heard too little or heard exactly what we said.
The promoter came behind the curtain, said give them something they can use.
Name the 3 songs people paid for, and cross the new one from the queues.
I folded up the marked set list,
You placed it underneath your chair,
then sang the opening line unaccompanied,
just to prove the song was still there. We knew the second verse was crowded, knew the bridge arrived too late, knew the final chord asked patience from a room that came to celebrate.
but every word belonged to someone whose name we had not used for rhyme.
And changing it to earn an answer would have made the silence mine.
A song can fail,
Because it is careless,
a song can fail,
because it is new. Sometimes the room rejects the mirror, sometimes the mirror is not true. Nobody clapped for the new song, nobody called us back. The room stayed still beneath the ceiling, while the drummer lowered both his hands. No, nobody clapped for the new song. We could not tell what silence meant, whether they had heard too little or heard exactly what we said.
we played it later in the hotel,
With no band and no rehearsal light,
you took the line I had been forcing,
I left a pause where you were right.
the chorus sounded less important,
The last verse finally had room,
and for the first
time since we wrote it, we heard the weakness in the tune. The next night in a smaller city,
We began with nothing people knew.
The bartender stopped polishing glasses
when the second verse came through.
No one cheered before the ending, but one woman near the wall kept her eyes fixed on the table, then stood first when the last note fell. Someone clapped for the new song, then another joined the sound. Not enough to call a triumph, just enough to keep it around. Someone clapped for the new song,
but the song had changed by then.
We had cut the lines that wanted praise
and kept the ones that needed breath.
Someone clapped for the new song, and we finally understood.
Silence is not over.